Thanks for joining me on the program Evidence. I'm Kejang Henry Atembe in Douala, Cameroon. Today we look at the challenges of Cameroonian students who are studying in the UK. Education is the most powerful weapon with which you can use to change the world. Of course, that is Madiba Nelson Mandela. For today's edition of the program, my guest is no other person but Mr. GISLAIN DEFFO. He is an education advisor with the University of Wolverhampton, that is in the UK. He will be telling you more on traveling and studying abroad. Welcome, Mr. DEFFO. Thanks for joining me.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Henry, for inviting me to the program Evidence on CANAL2.
The first question is to know what actually, as an advisor, do you do as an education advisor?
Actually, as you mentioned, I'm an education advisor at the University of Wolverhampton. I'm hired by the University of Wolverhampton to provide advice, specifically orientation, information about admission, information about orientation, information about integration about the UK system, and information about accommodation and the philosophy of the education system in the UK.
Generally, we understand that students normally have to travel, study abroad in different fields, especially underdeveloped Cameroon, for example, or developing Cameroon. Do you, as a matter of fact, advise them on the courses that they have to take? Maybe courses that might help them come out of the university career ready?
The courses I normally advise them on are based on 2 points. It can be a course that can provide them an opening into the UK market, or a course that can provide them opening into the Cameroon market. Now it depends. Recently, for example, we launched a course called Seaport Management, based on the fact that we have a lot of infrastructure, seaport infrastructure that's going to be developed for the emergency plan 2035. So we also launched a course called Climate Change Management. Climate change management is basically for those who, like, actually we are facing climate change quite every day.
That is a new field.
That is a new field, exactly. You have a human resource management. You know, in the past, people who were working in human resource department were those who have long proven experience in managing people. But today we are giving the opportunity to these people who are in the human resource management industry, who have no certificate, no diploma, no degree, to train themselves, to form themselves and go into the recognition, get their certificate recognized within the higher education in the UK, within the HR industry, and within the Cameroon employment system as well.
Now, there is something very important that I'll probably like us to look at. You know, this issue of helping students travel abroad, we see many different people with different philosophies of helping students travel abroad in the UK, in the US, in Canada, etc., etc., in Ukraine, in Belgium, in France. But apparently we discovered that these students, most of them are lost along the line. What can you say about this? Knowing that so many people are out to dupe the young and, foolish Cameroonians and the foolish parents.
One thing I will say about that, I would like to clarify a few things. I am not an agent.
Good.
First of all, and the services I provide is hired by the University of Wolverhampton, so I work within the University of Wolverhampton alongside with the University of Wolverhampton. So the services we provide in terms of advice, orientation, admission is first of all free. That's one thing. The second thing is that, we Cameroonians, we are very intelligent. Some people claim to know a lot. In fact, they don't know anything. You cannot be a single individual. You claim to know 5 education systems in the world. It is impossible. You cannot know the education system in Canada, same time Dubai, same time Turkey, sometime Polish, sometime UK, US. This is why people like me, we do exist very few into this market. Those who are speaking about Canada, you need to ask them the question whether they've studied there or not. That's one thing. What is their experience into the student environment or student education sector? Most of these people is because they have managed to make one child travel They claim that they can make travel, they can do traveling document for the whole world. And the second thing is that if you put a test to them, the immigration system, the immigration law in the UK changes quite every week or every month. You have new laws coming in. They don't have up-to-date information. So either sometimes they struggle to get the information in the internet, or when a student has gone to the university, then he faces problem. Then the information is sent back to them that, listen, from today, this type of children, this is the application, this is what has to be applied on. So in fact, I will not encourage parents to how can I say, I will not encourage parents to go into that route. What the parent has to do is to identify amongst them those who are specialists, those who are expert into that domain. And very few, like I say, very few in Cameroon are expert into the domain. Very few are selling products they don't know. Very few are selling products they have not tried in the past. Very few are having information randomly from left and right. And most of them are chasing money. Most of them are doing it for the sake of money. You know, the Cameroon market is big. The Cameroon market is large. There's a piece of cake for everybody. Do you understand? You don't need to cheat. You don't need to lie. So long as you do your job properly, correctly, you don't even need to advertise. How many times have you seen me? This is the first time we met together and you've interviewed me because of the long proven information you had about me. But I will not go on television, TV show and speak about education of marketing marketing for education is not a market. It's not like a marketing of a beauty product. It is completely different. It works from one person to another. Information goes mouth to mouth. It goes. Somebody who has traveled will say, okay, refer your child, refer your son to this person. Yes.
President Paul Biya, in one of his speeches, said that Cameroonians should be professionals in their respective domain. In fact, he talked about professionalization of the education sector. And at one point in time, he told Cameroonians studying and living in the diaspora to come back and contribute their own quota towards the development of the country, especially as the challenge is trying to make Cameroon emerge by 2035. I come back to you, Mr. GISLAIN DEFFO. Coming back and working in Cameroon after the studies is a probably big challenge for the students. What do you think the situation is?
For me, coming back and work serving Cameroon is what I normally promote during my open days. I think I should encourage, even the British education system at the moment is clear enough. They say that students are those who come, study, and go back and serve their country. This is the actual philosophy of the British government, the Conservatives, led by David Cameron. So that means developing country, international student should always put in mind that one option will be to go back and serve Cameroon. Loads of things are going on in Cameroon at the moment, and there are loads of areas where we need these youngsters. Now, I don't want to talk about the salary. I don't want to talk about their integration in Cameroon. We always say home sweet home. It is always good and nice to work within our country, within our environment, within our family, within our society, with the people we know much more, with the people we love much more. Sometimes you feel very frustrated when you are in the UK because the environment does not integrate you. In the case where the environment does not integrate you, I always encourage the children to come back to Cameroon and work. And the problem with the children is that they want to go very quick, they want to go very fast in life. That means at the moment they will be leaving UK, at the moment they will be coming to Cameroon. They expect to work immediately, and they expect to work to earn £1,000, £3,000 a month, which is the Cameroon reality. The Cameroon market, job market and employment has its own reality. When you come to Cameroon, we know that you can even start from 200,000, from 200,000, then move to 3, progress to 500 or to 1 million. So, you know, as it is in the UK, they are used to be as a student to earn big amounts of money. That is job. You don't build your life based on jobs at the moment in the UK. You build your life based on employment. There is a strict difference between a job, a student job, and employment. The student job is temporary, the employment is for life. So what I would encourage them instead is to look for working experience. And working experience is through placement and employment. When we talk about placement, there's what we call in French stage pré-emploi. So that means they can look at such things. And I have to remind this, once you study in the British education system, your passport for the whole world is your degree. Your passport is not your travel document we're talking about. For me, that's based on education sector. Your passport is your degree. Your degree can help you to work everywhere in the world. Specifically for francophone who end up being bilingual. That means they can speak French and they can speak English. So it opened them a lot of doors in the employment market worldwide, not only in Cameroon, not only in UK, even in France.
And this challenge is being able to be integrated in the society, the British society. How very easy it is for Cameroonian students to get themselves integrated in that society. Well, we're not going to talk about integration in terms of being racist as such, no. But integration in terms of, being accommodated as such, feeling the warmth of, humanity as a whole.
One of the words you've used, or one of the words you just used, is the word easy. How easy? Let me tell you this, nothing is easy. In the UK, nothing is granted. You have to fight for everything. You have to fight for survival. Even for a cup of tea, you must deserve it. The advantage the UK system offers is that if you have the skills, you have the ability to do something, they will give you a chance. Not based on wherever you are coming from. They will give you the chance to prove what you can do. The same thing happened in America, where they are talking of American dream. American dream simply means what? If you prove you can do it, then he will give you the chance. The same system exists in UK, we call equal opportunity. Equal opportunity simply means an opportunity that a British man can have. If you can prove, as being an African, you have the skills and the ability and the experience of doing it, then they will give you the chance. My predecessor in this job was a British man, but I've proven to the school, to the university, to my employer, that I can do better than him. And that's why I'm sitting here in front of you as a Cameroonian doing the same job that the British man was doing. So I will not say that it is easy. It is hard. Now, the chance to succeed will depend on the skills and ability and the education, the base, as we mentioned, we had back home. That is the driver, that is the fuel for us to succeed. Now, it will depend on what projections we have in life. Some people think that getting through a sham marriage, having a British nationality, for them, they have succeeded. Some people think that marrying a white woman and having half-caste children, having a British passport, is a sign of success. Some people think that once they have traveled, even if their document expire, they've succeeded. So what do you mean succeed? The challenges are too much. Let me explain to you. And these challenges will depend on the environment and your aspiration. Do you understand? I had some people that I know, after they finished their studies, they went and claimed asylum. If it works, they're claiming asylum against Cameroon. If it works, they have their document. For them, in their head, they have succeeded. Although they came through an education channel, they have completely changed the route. And for them, in the middle, within their family, they have succeeded. But let me talk to you about those different type of people who, after finishing their job, will look for what we call placement in school, or while they are doing their studies, they decide not to do a job, but to do placement, to do volunteer job, to improve their skills. Then after that, they finish their job, they come back to Cameroon and look for an opportunity anywhere. And let me remind you one thing. The education system in France train us to be administrator. That means to work for somebody, to work in offices, public sector. The education system in the UK and US train us to be self-employed. They train us to be manager, not to work for somebody, to create opportunities for ourselves and for others, and for ourselves and for other people. So at the end of the day, as I mentioned, it depends on what you want to achieve in your life. But whatever what you do, whatever what you'll be doing in life, remember this: there will be a lot of obstacles, and you always need to go through this obstacle. Yes, you always need to try to pass through those obstacles without using shortcuts. Now, the way the people go through, like people say, "Tu chemin mène à Rome." The route, all roads will go to Rome. The road that some people will take, it solely remain their responsibility. So I cannot judge them, but now it depends on what they want to achieve. The UK can train an individual to be self-employed. Self-employed means you come back, you set up your business, and you employ people. That's how the education system, the Anglo-Saxon system works.
Thanks very much, Mr. GISLAIN DEFFO. We shall be coming back to talk about the projects that you have at hand, and this project certainly is Colonie de Vacances. You'll be able to tell us much more what that means after this break. Welcome back. Next summer, there will be a summer camp, and this summer camp will help empower students for some time, integrate them into the society. Now, Mr. DEFFO, there is a concept which is DEFFO, and apparently this concept represents the initials of your name. Now, can you tell us something about the concept, DEFFO, and the summer camp that is coming up?
First of all, I will start by the name. Yeah. The concept DEFFO stands for my name. What inspired me to do that? In fact, you know, the British people hire me to sell their system, to sell themselves in Cameroon, in the French-speaking countries, Senegal and Ivory Coast. As I mentioned to you earlier, every student I recruit is an ambassador of my country, or of the country I recruit from. So for me, I thought that there was also time for us to create something which we can sell back as an identity of Cameroon, for Cameroon students, and for even African students. And something came to me. I was playing with my pen in the office, and I said, "Oh, what can we bring up?" And I realized that, okay, I've been in this industry for so many years. I took my name and I decided to look for keywords that are related to the industry, to the education sector. And we were already doing free orientation in the whole UK. Everything we provide, advice and everything, were free. I decided to use DEFFO as a concept. D stand for developed, E education, via will be swallow, F free, O orientation. So you have developed education via free orientation. So these four words simply summarize what my human nature, which is my name, my identity, and my job. My job, which is to provide orientation, advice, information about integration to prospective students free of charge. That means they don't have to pay to get access to this information. And every time there's any information updated about admissions, about fees, about procedures, they can come to me anytime and I'll give them the information. The DEFFO concept is simply a way, is simply a way of thinking, a philosophy. It is to prepare these students who are dreaming to study in the UK. You know, before you travel, most of these students, before they travel, we don't prepare them mentally to what they are going to see or what they are going to have. So many of them, when they arrive in the UK, after the first obstacle takes place, they are shocked. And once they are shocked, they start behaving in one way or another, lacking respect to people, talking nonsense. They will never regret, because the environment is tough. And those who have passed through the concept of DEFFO, they are psychologically and mentally ready to face the challenges and the difficulties of the UK environment. and the UK is a very difficult country, even for Anglophone people, even for Francophone people. It is a very, very tough country. You can easily abandon. You can abandon does not mean that you leave the country, but you can abandon the main project that brought you, that you went out for, to go and do other things. Or once you are frustrated at that moment, then things start becoming very difficult for yourself. So that is why the DEFFO concept is to prepare them to all sorts of things. I have students who have, after their studies, they've claimed asylum. I have students which after their studies, they are decided to go into shame marriage or any other thing. You cannot control that, but you need to tell them what exactly it takes and what are the difficulties they might face after their studies, and you need to prepare them to eventual challenges that may come through. Now, when it comes to summer camp, summer camp you mentioned about, we've been doing summer camp for quite a few years, and we've decided to put a lot more of emphasis on summer camp, but for children. Why for underage children? Because they have the chance to be accompanied by their parents. It is an opportunity for young Cameroonians at a very small age to get into contact with the UK education system, to familiarize themselves with the education student life in the UK specifically and the UK environment. So, and recently we have inaugurated our the academic with His Excellency Roger Miller, who comes specifically from Cameroon to come and inaugurate our football academy in the Warsaw campus, and to also inaugurate the English academy for the summer camp.
How did you get in contact with Roger Miller to support that project?
Roger Miller naturally supported the project because he heard about me, what I've been doing, and people around him. When we met him, he went very fast because he said, "Oh yeah, we know about what you've been doing. We've seen what you've done, and I'll be happy to support your project." But also, you have to remember, His Excellency Roger Miller has a foundation in Yaoundé, Care d'Afrique, that works together with the needy children, vulnerable people. And the thing also, we join into that project to support him in teaching English to the vulnerable people and helping them to have access to new technology like internet, particularly, and usage of computer. This is how we came out with that project.
Having been recruited to project the British educational system, is it only in Cameroon or in other French-speaking African countries?
Right. The advantage I had with the University of Wolverhampton is that there have never been somebody like me into the University of Wolverhampton. When I joined the University of Wolverhampton, I was one of the rare person that was talking French, and I was one of the rare person that was coming from the French-speaking country, because Cameroon there is not looked at as a bilingual country. It is looked at as a French-speaking country. So in fact, I was one of the French-speaking, one of the students from the French-speaking country that joined the University of Wolverhampton. After my study, there was a need to expand, to grow about markets, and I had to pick up the market I can have an easy access. One of the market I had an easy access was my country, which is Cameroon. So I decided to work first of all for my country. Then we decided to expand to Ivory Coast, particularly Abidjan and Yamoussoukro, and to expand to Senegal, specifically in Dakar, which is where we have started recently to do open days. So actually, the University of Wolverhampton will only recruit in 3 French-speaking countries, theoretically. The one I'm doing in Cameroon, Ivory Coast, and Senegal. Yes, thank you very much, Henry, and thank you very much for CANAL2 to give me the opportunity to express myself. Being in this industry, I've been very reluctant to do interviews. I've always said that no, I don't want to project myself to the yes. I am the one who's been doing good work with Wolverhampton University. I'm the one who have been recruiting who have been recruiting the majority of Cameroonian students at the University of Wolverhampton. We actually have a very powerful community in the city of Wolverhampton. Yes, I am the person, but I would prefer to remain and stay humble and stay within the pathway of my duty and my work.
And from all of you, I want to thank you for and to all of you, I want to thank you for having been part of this program Evidence, taking a look at studies in the UK and particularly with the Wolverhampton University. From all of us, it's goodbye from me.